Fantasy Football Week 5. Players to fade. As we dive into Week 5, here are 5 players and one entire position group that might not be worth the risk based on their matchups and current performance trends. Quarterback. Sam Darnold, Minnesota Vikings. Current status. Darnold has surprisingly excelled this season, ranking as QB4 with 11 TDs. Matchup. He faces the Jets, whose defense allows the second lowest EPA per dropback and has limited efficient quarterbacks this season. Recommendation. While he hasn't finished lower than QB14, consider alternatives like Joe Flacco or Trevor Lawrence, especially with bye weeks in play. Running backs. Breece Hall, New York Jets. Current stats. Hall has been disappointing with a 3.1 YPC and the second highest stuff rate among RBs. Matchup. Facing the Vikings, who have a tough rush defense, makes it unlikely for Hall to break out this week. Recommendation. He's tough to bench outright, but temper expectations and consider riskier flex options. Zack Moss, Cincinnati Bengals. Current stats. Moss has been solid but is sharing the workload, and the Bengals' offensive line took a hit with Trent Brown's injury. Matchup. The Ravens' defense is stingy, allowing just 3.0 YPC and few fantasy points to RBs. Recommendation. He's a flex play, but consider him an RB3 in this difficult matchup. Wide receivers. Jordan Addison, Minnesota Vikings. Current status. Addison had a strong week 4, but his volume was limited with a low target rate. Matchup. The Jets provide a challenging environment, especially with the potential focus on Justin Jefferson. Recommendation. He might not replicate last week's success, so approach with caution in your flex spot. Jakobi Meyers, Las Vegas Raiders. Current status. With Devontae Adams likely out, Meyers would typically be a target-heavy option. Matchup. He'll likely be shadowed by Pat Surtain too, one of the best cornerbacks in the league, making it tough for him to produce. Recommendation. Unless desperate, Meyers should be avoided this week. Position to fade. Tight ends. Current landscape. This season has seen an unpredictable tight end landscape with no clear standout option. Recommendation. Avoid any analyst's lock at tight end this week. It's been too volatile, and you might be better off streaming based on matchups. Conclusion. Consider these players carefully in your lineups this week. While they might have the potential to surprise, the matchups and recent performances suggest that they carry significant risk. Adjust your rosters accordingly and look for safer alternatives where possible.